welcome to the Nonic Nonsense Podcast, a show where we were convinced that we would get a lawsuit handed to us way sooner than Actors Access, but here we are. I am Kat Gold.
I am Michael Matadomini, 24 episodes in, and the last guests of the season. We got a double date for y'all. Two people who we wanted on this podcast for the longest fucking time. We talked about them constantly.
We just never reached out like proper people. We
did.
We literally had you guys. We have a list. We have a written list of like, who do we want on the pod? And we were like, oh, we obviously have to have a double date with these two. And we just like never reached out because we are fucking idiots.
So introduce yourselves, guys.
I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kat.
Hi, everybody. Happy to be here.
And together they are John and Kat. The most iconic duo in South Florida besides Michael Harper and Michael Matadomini, for sure.
That is true. Oh my God.
How you doing, guys?
Good. Hanging out, getting our morning going, talking with some lovely people.
Oh gosh.
Ready to
We're not lovely.
We're just here.
Yes, spill the tea. So tell me, just because I know it's happening right now, how is audition season treating you guys?
Audition season is good. You know, we're just kind of getting starting down here. Had some good callbacks so far. Waiting to hear on some offers, fingers crossed. You know, big moves for the next season for everyone, hopefully.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think we're so early in the audition season that there's still so many to look forward to, as well as just...
There's a lot of balls still in the air.
There's a lot of balls still in the air.
Mm-hmm.
For Florida, yeah. It's interesting how each region like starts a different, because I feel like New York stuff has already been happening for like 2 months.
Yeah, New York also does that like summer season that everybody gets like wrapped up in, and they audition for all their summer stock stuff. But I know that a lot of the theaters down here that do New York auditions don't normally hold their auditions in New York until like September. I feel like they wait that long so that they can guarantee that the people who are away on summer stuff are back by that point.
Probably. That does make sense. It's just like wild because like I just remember getting ready like in college, and it was like audition seasons between this and this, and it feels like audition season doesn't fucking stop. Ever. It's just a never-ending audition nonsense because it's like the New York stuff starts happening even as early as like late January through now. I mean, I just got finished doing like callback round 1 for Hadestown and stuff, and like
congratulations, that's incredible.
Cool.
Also,
we'll see, but I don't have high hopes, but you know, it was nice, but to get seen, but now like the Florida stuff is starting to happen, and like, but then there's also like, yes, the September stuff, and then there's the Christmas shows that they all start audition, so it just feels like it's a never-ending fucking cycle.
Yeah.
Speaking of auditions, I think we need to bring up the fact that the Miss Lovely Kat Pagano is my talent scout manager. Can we talk about how this started?
You're not the only one. I have a clientele.
The clientele, yes. Talk about your agency for us real quick here.
So this fake agency that I run in South Florida is called Meow Talent. This is a joke, but I do have several clients that will call me and talk to me about upcoming auditions and callbacks and like what material they should do and like just what's a good opportunity for them next season. I have also made, and I know Michael, you have it, and Kat, I don't know if you do, and I'm happy to send it to you, a spreadsheet of all of the shows that are happening in South Florida and like Florida in general next season, even to Gulf Shore and Oslo, so that you can see like the upcoming overlaps and the potential of like, oh, well, if I'm lucky enough to book Redacted at whatever company, then I can't do Redacted at another company because they conflict.
Yep.
That is wild.
It's gorgeous. And also, it was the most cryptic text message I've ever received in my life. Like, I just had Kat Pagano text me at like, I don't know, 9 p.m. one night, and she was like, "What's your email?" And I was like,
I was in
what
tech
the
for
hell is
42nd
this
Street
for?
and bored.
I was
Oh
like,
my
what the
God.
hell is this? And I opened it up and it was this gorgeous spreadsheet. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've never seen the spreadsheet. I've heard about the spreadsheet, but
it's
I
the spreadsheet. Yes.
The spreadsheet.
no,
So
no, no.
hit me up if you want my spreadsheet.
But like, it is really terrifying the amount of people that listen to this stupid ass podcast.
Well, you two are very funny and popular, and you have a lot of funny and popular guests on, so I'm glad you have quite a following.
Yeah.
Kat just shot that shit down. She said, listen,
When
this
I
shit's
first
funny.
started, I've been watching since the beginning, or listening from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Watched them.
Now
That's
we've
why
got
we're wrapping this
videos.
shit up. We went 24 episodes without getting canceled. And I think it's like, hey, season 1 needs a break. We need to like refuel, retouch, breathe.
Honestly, I don't know how we've made it this far and have not received backlash. That is the miracle of this entire thing. Because like really, when I was saying in the end, in the opening, how is Actors Access going through a major lawsuit before we are?
Because you don't charge
How?
people money for their reels.
Yeah, it says because you don't charge people money for their reels.
That is true. Oh my god. Oh my god. Which reminds me, I do have to update my reel on Actors Access. It does
Go do
just
it
like
now. Go
$400.
just
get the
60
lawsuit money.
$66 poof into the atmosphere. Oh
Too
my
much.
god. Have you guys gotten success with like Actors Access and like casting networks and all those like pay to play kind of like websites?
So I've actually only used Actors Access like twice ever.
Okay.
One was because I was requested to submit to the Margaritaville tour. So I didn't have to pay anything because they reached out to me.
Okay.
So like I had to upload the dance video, but I wasn't charged for it. And then the second one, I had found a theater I wanted to submit to, and their website was very clear that they were not taking like email submissions, which is normally my go-to route. So I did pay some money to submit to them, and I did end up getting a callback, which was awesome, but I never heard anything from that further. So I'd say like, 50-50 on my experience, but I'm personally more likely to go dig through a company's website and see if they're accepting video submissions or something like that with a personal email than going through a Playbill or a casting network like that.
Yeah. What about you, Jonathan?
I've never, to be completely honest, I've never used any of the pay to play websites. I've always just kind of stuck with local auditions, playbill.com. When I was when we were in the city for a short amount of time, it was easier to kind of like
use equity.
Yeah, use equity and find those.
Yeah, but that's true.
Fancy little letters that we have now.
Wait, fuck! There are one equity contract for the season.
I'm calling bullshit. You had a Ursua.
Ursua has never come on.
Nope.
Didn't he come on? Wasn't he
No. Ursua has been back and forth. I love that every episode we bring this up. Is that Ursua has been a biggest fan since before we released the pod. He was like, I'm already invested. And he listens to it religiously. Like, there has been times where he has called me at like midnight o'clock when the episodes are getting released on YouTube, listening to it actively. And he's like, are you guys live right now? No, Michael. We were.
Yeah, I'm having this convo at 12:02 p.m.
No, we recorded this a while ago. No, he has been one of these people that has back and forth like, I'm gonna come on, I'm not gonna come on, I'm gonna come on, I'm not gonna come on. But no, actually, you're not the first equity contract, because we had Agira Palladian from Types and Econ.
On. Damn it! So we broke our rule. Shit.
Will you say that again?
Sean Davis.
Oh yeah, true. Sean Davis, yeah.
He was the first one.
Did that
Sean
just
Davis
happen?
Sean Davis?
No, but Sean Davis was the first one I recognized as like equity.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me then. I'm wrong.
Sean William Davis. God forbid we don't say all three names.
Sean
because
Williams Davis, Sean
oh,
Williams Davis, Sean Williams Davis, just like
he
Bloody Mary. You say it 3 times into a phone, you
three
got one.
times wrong, and he's gonna leave a comment on the YouTube page
He's gonna
going,
pop up in the backseat of Michael's car right now.
He fucking strangles me. Oh god.
No. So I guess you two are 3 and 4 of the equity people into non-ec nonsense, which is
Don't worry, there's still enough nonsense.
Thank you for the guest artist contract.
that's all we get per season. We get 4 guest artist contracts per season.
Yep. Now here's your Carbonell. Anyways, so Jonathan and Kat, I met you two during Guys and Dolls because Jonathan, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were our choreographer, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
was.
All right.
I
So
was the
talk
choreographer.
about how, because I was just getting started when I met you guys. So how did you guys get started in the business?
Ooh, that's a fun question. For me, I started in the South Florida local community about a decade ago now. I was 16. I was in high school. I met a good friend of mine, Ben Solomore, at a dance class just at a local studio. It was a contemporary dance class. He came up to me after the dance class and said, "Hey, you're a really good dancer. You're kind of my height. Do you want to be in a show?" And I was like, "What's a show?" I had no idea up until that point, like what musicals were.
He was training to be a firefighter.
Yeah. At that time of my life, like musical theater was not even like a thought. I was ready to be like go to school and be a firefighter, paramedic, EMT kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
But then Ben asked me to do a show. It was this tiny little production of a musical review called The Sounds of Simon. It was all Simon and Garfunkel music.
Andre has
fun.
talked about that show.
Yeah, Andre Russell. We
Yeah.
did that together. So I joined, and then it was just such a popular show in the South Florida community, and ended up running like 9 or 10 months, if I remember correctly. So like that was a
Holy shit.
great, like
God, to have a job that long.
literally, it wasn't that long initially, but like it was like a month contract, and then they said, "Oh, we're so popular, we're gonna extend, and then extend, and then extend," and yeah. So by the end of the contract, I was with them for like 9 or 10 months.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
And then from there, it just kind of continued. I feel like I've worked at other theaters. I've worked my way up a little bit from there, because
that theater doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that theater doesn't exist anymore. The owners went bankrupt, moved out of the state, and like didn't really leave us with any much information. So from there, I went to the next theater, and then the next one, and then the next.
Hell yeah. All right, Miss Kat, let's hear it.
I didn't start young like Jonathan. I actually graduated from high school and went to college for a Bachelor's of Science degree in Communication Studies and Hospitality Management. I did get that bachelor's degree. I did graduate summa cum laude. My mother made sure of it.
Look at you.
But I kind of out of, I'll say like desire and sort of protest, my spring break of my senior year of college, I went and stayed with my cousin in New York City for, I think it was 2 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, I did 11 auditions. And of those 11 auditions, I got 2 job offers for 2 different theater companies for the summer. And one of them started like 2 weeks before graduation, and I would have had to take my finals early and not walk across the stage to go and do this job, to be I think it was a Gemini twin in Forum and a Kit Kat girl in Cabaret. At a theater that doesn't exist anymore. And my mom, I called her with the good news, and she was mad because it would mean that I wouldn't like graduate, or I would put all this pressure on myself. And she told me no. And I was sad, of course, but like I did understand I was so close to graduation at that point that I just needed to do it.
Yeah.
And the next morning I got an email for the job I did end up taking, a tiny little summer stock in Nebraska called Post Playhouse. if you're just out of college, consider working there. But I did not have the best experience personally. I did get third-degree burns on my legs and
Jesus
foot
Christ.
because I
Okay,
was
you
given
need to
pots and
explain
pans, and
that.
one of them, yeah. So they was given pots and pans in my housing, and one of the pots that I was using to cook was broken. So the handle was slightly separate from the pot. So most pots and handles have like 2 welding spots. One of them was separated, so the handle spun, and I wasn't quite paying attention. And I went to take the pot of boiling pasta water off the stove, and the whole pot tipped and spilled all over me. So I did go to the hospital. I did have really bad burns on my thigh and foot. But to be fair, the theater didn't do that to me. I technically did it to myself. I did only miss one show. I went back on the next night in soft shoes for, I think it was Mamma Mia. We were doing shows and rep out there.
Oh my God.
After I worked in Nebraska, I worked in some theme park stuff in Virginia and Orlando. And then I randomly got a casting email for a production of Dreamgirls at Stage Door down here in South Florida. And I vividly remember going, I am a tiny white girl. Why are you calling me for Dreamgirls? And I didn't take the show. And then they contacted me right after that, maybe like 4 days, to do Victor Victoria, which I did end up coming down to do. Just kind of like on a whim. I didn't have a place to live in Orlando anymore, and I was just kind of ready to like go back to theater because I was only doing theme park work at the time, which is fun, a total blast, but wasn't the singy, dancey Philly that I wanted. And doing Victor Victoria is actually where I met Jonathan.
And that was already like
Uh-huh.
6 years ago.
Yeah,
That is
actually, it
crazy.
was 6 years ago this month.
I didn't realize that was your first show in like this in the South Florida like regional scene.
Yeah, I
That
lucked
is
out.
wild.
I came down and I did Victor Victoria, which was the theoretically like the end of the season down here because the show ran up until I think my birthday in June. And right after that, Jonathan and I went to a FIPTA open call in Vero Beach. And I think within like 3 weeks, both of us had an entire another season booked. So I stayed, and I haven't been too struggling for work down here. So it's been great.
You're damn right. Because this woman, I saw her, like, I haven't done a show with Kat. I've wanted to do a show with Kat for forever, and I've put it out into the universe multiple times. So let's hope for next season. But I saw her in Bye Bye Birdie at the Wick. And this one, like, I know she's talented, because duh. But holy shit. Like, this woman, she had to do this tap number when she was, like, sad and upset. And I've never felt like someone, her sadness was radiating out into the audience while she was doing these, like, gorgeous tap, like, steps and all this kind of shit. And she was keeping this face of, like, I fucking hate my life. This sucks. Like, nah. And I don't know. Like, I just sat there and I was like, this girl's a superstar. And then, and I've worked with Jonathan multiple times before. And my favorite memory of Johnny is during Mary Poppins. We all got done with the show and we were all chilling out on the top of the parking garage. And this man opens up his trunk and pulls out
Circus trunk.
Yes, the circus trunk. And he's like moving these like fucking pins to the side. I'm pretty sure there was like a chainsaw and a fucking lit birthday cake in there. Like it's like fucking Mary Poppins bag is Jonathan's trunk. And he pulls out this trike. And it's like a tiny little fucking bicycle. And he hops on it and he's doing fucking tricks and laps on top of the parking garage. And I was just like, this guy right
the little
here.
clown bike.
Can I tell you guys that the most exciting part of my theater season this year has been that my little circus bike made it on stage in
Carousel.
in the production of Carousel at the Wick.
I can't.
Not Jonathan.
Not me. I
just
wasn't.
The bike.
Just the bicycle.
The trike.
Just from me like having it and like riding it around and being a fool. The director was like, "Hey, can I put that in my show?
Can I borrow that?"
Can I borrow that?" And I was like, yes, of course, that's hysterical. And so in the opening scene, you see like one of the clowns just riding out on it.
I was
I thought it was
wondering,
great.
like, was that Gio Volpe that
I
rolled
love
out
how
on that thing? It was
Bryce
Gio
Bear.
Volpe?
Bryce Bear. Gio Volpe
Right.
was the juggler. Gio was the juggler.
I talked about this with Gio, and like Gio has like been the. Like, I'm so glad he's in Buddy Holiday and he has something bigger. But like, I was joking around with him. I was like, dude, you for the season, you just walk out, smile, wave, and then fucking go away. I'm like, I need to see you more, bro. Like,
That's it.
was so funny.
And,
He's just like, and then
and
he
as
dips.
his manager, I've gotten him several good features.
Yes, you have.
Walks
Yes,
out,
you have.
waves.
Meow Meow talent. It's really
Shameless plug for Gio. If go see it.
If you haven't seen Buddy Holly and you're listening to this before May 5th, go see Gio Volpe as Richie Valens at the Wick Theater.
Go support
There you
Meow
go.
Meow talent.
Can we real quick? Can we talk about how Meow Meow talent started? Is that all right if we explain the
Please
concept
explain.
of the Helvetica
Yes.
Boys?
Ah. Okay.
This is Cat's
So this is Kat's concept. Last season, Patrick Fitzwater, give him credit, hired a bunch of boys for Mary Poppins. And I came to see the show. I had been hanging out with the cast on the roof, and I had thought nothing of it. Everybody in Mary Poppins wears the exact same costume for step-in time. They're all dressed up as chimney sweeps. PR photos came out. Jonathan said, "You'll never find me in this picture." I did, but I also noticed in that photo that like 7 or 8 of those boys looked identical.
Identical. It's true.
In the hat and the costume, it became very difficult to tell some of these damn people apart. Well, then Newsies came around, and most of the same boys and a handful of new ones came in. And again, they're all the same. 5'7", good dancers, well built. They kind of move the same. If you turn them around backwards, it's a lineup to pick people out of. So I developed the theory that the boys are like, fonts on Word. You have Helvetica, Helvetica Light, Helvetica Bold, Helvetica Italic. Well, Jonathan is Helvetica because he's mine. He's the first. Aaron Atkinson is Helvetica Bold because he's a little bit taller. Gio Volpe is Helvetica Italic. Steven Eisenwasser is Helvetica Light. Ben, what's his last name? Susie
Chavez?
Tooth.
Yep.
They are Helvetica Fancy. Our friend from New York, another Ben, is Helvetica Mini.
There's just this idea that has grown.
These boys are also similar enough, but all different enough that they're like of the same font. And of those boys, I started to joke that I could get quite a few of them work. And we named the agency, I think, last week. Because they said, cat talent. Cat talent said, meow, meow. Meow, meow talent.
And Michael
MMT
Matadomini
trademark.
is Wingding.
MMT.
That's my fucking font.
Instagram.
I'm a goddamn Wingding.
No, you're just a Helvetica, like, you're a leading man. Most of the boys are ensemble boys, so you're like the heading Helvetica.
That's nice. Oh shit.
I love how
I mean, it's true. I can't be a person.
I love Jonathan, but he's gonna play hooligan number 2 for the rest of his life. Oh yes, well, but Michael, you're a leading man. We can't make you an ensemble Helvetica. We need to make you like title Helvetica.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the honor. Meow meow. Thank you.
Yeah, look, you got to know what your track is in life. Jonathan, lovingly, is hooligan number 2, and he's real good at it. Your track is not that. Your track is leading funny man, leader of the funny boy gang.
Is Nunzio?
Not Nunzio.
Nunzio knows, people. Nunzio knows. Karinko said it himself.
Oh my God, too much.
I think the title of the episode, after pulling from all this kind
Yeah.
of shit that you're
You
saying,
might have
is
forgotten one.
Hooligan Number 2 with Jonathan Isley and Cat Pagano.
Meow meow talent.
Meow meow. You have so many options.
From here on out, this is how Cat is known.
Owner and founder of.
Oh,
On your resume, right at the top.
CEO of Meow Meow Talent.
CEO.
I can't. So tell me, because we always go into the ridiculous things that happen. Tell me, what is your most ridiculous audition story that you have?
Okay.
Cat knows it.
I
know
have
this
it.
one. I know this one too immediately.
Just know that I've told this story now twice because it is super, super embarrassing, but it's really funny and I'll out myself. I went to an audition once for Norwegian Cruise Lines. I was having a great audition. I had made it through like 6 cuts. We were asked to go out into the hall and they were going to bring us in pairs and we were going to do a dance combo. Great, fine, no problem. We go in to do it, me and the other girl, and they pull out an iPad and they say, okay, we just want to hear a quick slate so that we know who you are in this dance video. She goes first. They put the iPad on me. I take a nice big breath and I go, hi, my name is Pat Pagumbo. That's not my name. And it is downhill from that moment. I did not do almost any of the combo right. The first 8 counts, I switched a lunge for a seat roll, and I couldn't get back into the choreography at all. I just started randomly improvising on this video for Norwegian Talent after saying my name was Pat Pagumbo, which is not my name. And at the end, they wanted to like say thank you and let us know if they'd be in contact. And they spoke to the other girl and they sent her out of the room. They just kind of looked at me and I went, yeah, have a great day. And I left because I knew in that moment when I said Pat Pagumbo, it was over for me. Up until that moment, I was having one of the best auditions of my life. And then my brain short-circuited and decided that my name didn't matter anymore.
Iconic.
So every once in a while at an audition to make people feel better, I tell that story. And I have several people who call me Pat now.
Pat Pagumbo.
Your turn.
I don't think I have one as fancy as that.
Fancy. Embarrassing.
Embarrassing? Maybe. No, I don't remember. I do remember the time I fell off the stage during an audition. It was, and Kat might be able to remember this, kind of. I was auditioning for a show at the Old Stage Door Theater. It was a production of a show called Minnie's Boys. I had gotten like an email from Paul O'Donnell. Kat might remember him.
I remember Paul.
Paul O'Donnell. He emails me and he goes, hey, there's a show going on at the stage door and we want you to audition. And it's very strange for Paul to email me because he wasn't really like in charge of casting or like, I think if I remember correctly at the time, he was the technical director of the theater.
Yeah,
something like that.
He was the technical director, and then he would
I was auditioning, and he has me do Groucho's like funky walk. Be in them.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in 9 with you?
Yeah, he was Guido Contini.
Yeah. And so I went to audition for him, and I was doing the funky Groucho walk that he like kind of showed me, and my foot caught the end of the stage because we were still dancing on the 9 stage.
Mm-hmm.
And so me being quick, like I did fall off the stage, but I landed on my feet. Like I didn't get hurt, but I just wasn't paying attention to where I was going. And there were like 3 other guys in there auditioning with me, so I felt kind of like dumb. I was like, I'm back. I like popped back up. Just like a quick little spider monkey, you know.
That probably got you the job.
It's okay.
They probably went, that's Groucho.
Honestly, back up. That's him. That's funny.
Lydia, the tattooed lady.
Oh my
This
gosh.
song's not even in the show.
I know, but it's the only one I know.
No, you were
So, yeah,
fantastic in that
I think
production.
that's my story as far as like crazy auditions. I haven't really, yeah, the time I fell off the stage.
Jesus Christ. Also, Johnny, how did you get into balancing things on your chin? Because I've caught you multiple times balancing knives, and then you balanced a fucking table and chairs on your chin. How did you get into that?
So to be completely honest, growing up, I was in Little League baseball. I played baseball for a couple of years, but
Were you good?
I was not good. That was the thing. My coaches didn't play me. I sat in the dugout most of the time. And so I did two things. I learned how to juggle the baseballs, and I baseball bats. It started like just like on my hand and my finger. I was like, ooh, I can balance it. And then as I got better and better with that, I was like, I could do this other places. And then I would try from my nose, and then I try from my shoulder, my foot. I think that one's really fun. So that's how I like started with that. But then as I got older, I was like, I can make this a little bit more entertaining. Here's a sword. Introduced a couple of butter knives.
A machete.
I'm gonna do a ladder at the WIC this coming week. I'll send you guys like a big ladder. They have a 15-foot aluminum ladder at the WIC that I'm gonna try to balance on my head.
You can do it.
I think I could. It's pretty light.
If anyone that I know of can do any circ related activity, it's Jonathan. I feel like that's like what you're becoming known for. Like, of course, being a fantastic performer and stuff, but like all your circ skills. Like I think back to Chicago, where they use like as many circ skills of yours as humanly possible.
That was fun. I brought my stilts. I brought my juggling stuff. I brought my unicycle.
We have since learned to fire tricks and to do a little bit of fire eating.
Yeah. Kat started dating me, and I said, you're going to have to learn to do some crazy stuff too. And so we learned how to eat fire.
And you guys dangle each other off balconies.
It's just a little warm. Don't worry.
It's fine.
You're like,
it's like a nice hot
hold
meal.
My foot and throw me off of
things. Hot, you're fine.
Also, Kat, I do need to bring up something.
He does have a video of him falling off the story of a set.
I think it's the elephant in the room, Kat. I just want to throw it out there. I'm sorry for flirting with your mom so much. I love Colleen. I wanted to make this public knowledge that it has happened, and I do apologize.
I have heard many of the stories now from multiple sides. Yours, my mother's, other people in your cast.
I'm so happy.
And honestly,
started that relationship.
It was bound to happen after a while. My mother got those knockers when I was a kid, and I said, my life can be uncomfortable at times.
I mean, her in Guys and Dolls. I think I was right next to her in the dressing room.
Couldn't help it.
Could not help it. Just bouncing around, just like, oh.
I remember the first time that I accidentally flirted with Colleen, and it was the worst day of my life because I thought I was legitimately going to get fired. Yeah. It was during Tech Week of Guys and Dolls, and we were on like an hour-long break, and I ordered McDonald's, and I was sitting in the green room at the LPAC eating McDonald's, and she comes in to get her tits contoured by Tommy Paduano. So I'm just eating my like McChicken, and she like whips out her tits, and she starts to get them contoured, right, by Tommy. And she goes, oh, is that dinner? And like, without even thinking, without even like a fucking moment of pause, I turned around and I said, and are you dessert? And then I wanted to shoot myself. Like, we both looked at each other and we were like, oh my God. And she goes, I can if you want me to be. And then I was like, goodbye. Like, I was like I'm out. I just like, goodbye. And then that's where our relationship just took off from there. I literally thought I was going to get reported to HR. It was the worst day of my life. I apologize 27 times.
Nah, my mom has too good of a sense of humor for that.
Oh my god.
So funny.
Enough about your relationship
Sorry, y'all.
with
That's
Colleen.
my mother-in-law. That's funny as fuck. I work with Colleen too. She's clever.
She's too much. I love her.
Oh,
But
I'm
going
freaking
back,
out.
I know I think Kat like briefly mentioned it about like your incredible, because we were talking about Cirque related things. The You and Crazy for You. Can you just talk through also
Yes,
if you
I
have
did
video, I
think of
want to
that.
see it. If you have video, I would love to see it again because the most gag-worthy thing I've ever seen was your faux death in Crazy for You.
That scene specifically, it's a whole big gunfight scene, and I'm up on the second level of the set, and I get shot, and my character has what you said, like a faux death. He falls over the second balcony, wraps his legs around, lands on the bar, hits the floor, does a couple of rolls, and like dies. And it was definitely a highlight of the show for me. It was so much fun to do. But yeah, it was just a really cool like feature of the show. I remember like trying to like figure out how I was gonna actually fall safely. And the first time I did it, I really fucked up and I like hurt my ribs falling all the way down because I hit the side of the set improperly without really like having done it yet. I was just like, yeah, I can figure this out. Okay, I'm okay. But it wasn't okay. But then the director was like, no, do it like this. This is how I know he did it last time. And then that was
The safe version.
the safe version, but still looked just as cool. It was
So I can
so much fun.
rewatch. I remember that sequence being so funny, and then the spotlight hits you on the second balcony, and I was
Again,
like,
just another show of like.
oh my god, so good. Carry on.
Okay, so guys, we are
That's it.
coming to an end, unfortunately, with our lovely time. So I would like you guys to talk about what, if you can, what you guys are currently doing, what you got coming up, all of that funny business, summer shit, whatever you guys got going on.
What you're allowed to talk about.
Coming up, again, come see Buddy but I'm on a backstage contract right now. But come see that one. It's a really fun show, and they got live musicians, which is always a plus. Later, we got SpongeBob. I'm playing Old Man Jenkins. Old Man Jenkins and one of the electric skates. SpongeBob. I'm playing one of the electric skates. I've been learning how to do my handstand on a skateboard. I'm gonna do it across the stage.
That's gonna be incredible.
I don't know how far the stage is. It seems it'll be fun. And honestly, for the summer, we take a step back. I think we might both end up going back to Costume World or to the Wick or.
I have a couple of dance intensives that I'll be teaching through the months of like May and June a little bit. I think we had talked about maybe taking a week in July and we go to New York and just seeing some friends, taking a small vacation.
Yeah, we've both been kind of working nonstop since like October. So I think a nice little break for us could be
very nice.
Very nice.
I'm in that little gorgeous break period right now. I had a month off to follow Dolly and SpongeBob, and I am like just fully hibernating and taking care of myself. And just
same. I'm on a 2-month break before I go back into back-to-back shit again. So like it's something that I feel like I love theater and I do love the community, but I feel like there's this like really crazy hustle culture with shows, and I get it. Like you wanna work, you wanna pay your bills, yada. But like people don't talk enough about like it's a physical labor job, and like you can't burn out. So you have to like schedule in the time to like step back. Like
yeah.
I don't know.
Of course.
I felt like when I did chorus line and sister act at the same time, and
Yeah.
they were like heavy double dipping. I was like, I'm the fucking king of the world. Like I could do this,
Like-
Ollie. And I was like, I can't fucking breathe. Like, I was like, I got there and my gas tank was on very E. Like I put myself in neutral and pushed myself through the finish line there. So take care of yourself for sure.
Go back to what you were saying, Jonathan, because there was like a delay.
Just the concept, what you were saying, the hustle culture, but it is still a job that is very physically demanding. It's very emotionally demanding and mentally demanding.
The one piece of advice I always try to give, especially at this time of year, because for us South Floridians, this is when it acts up. Just because you're not busy in May or June doesn't mean you should double and triple book yourself for February and March when you know you're going to need money because you're worried about April and June of next year.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get to February and March, you will be tired and you will deserve a break. And gassing yourself out at the end of the season isn't always the best choice, because then you go into auditions overly exhausted and you're not necessarily putting your best foot forward. So pacing of a season, pacing of work and of jobs.
I think on that we should wrap it up. That's so true. Such great advice.
Don't burn yourself out. Love the work that you do, but take time to take care of yourself. I think that's a great button there for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, I want you to shout out your social medias. So put out, like whatever you want people to follow you on so they could keep track of your journey and watch him juggle things on his Instagram.
You can follow me on Instagram at cat_Pagano.
I'm on Instagram too, Nathan Joe 4321.
Bada bing, bada
boom.
I hope you call him Nathan. That's so funny.
Nathan. All right, so thank you guys so much for coming on Non-Egg Nonsense. We are here on your dark days on Mondays. We have the award show next week, so make sure to tune into the Instagram so you can go ahead and vote on who you want to win certain awards. But other than that, my name is Michael Matadamini.
This is Kat Gold signing off, and
Kat
and Jonathan.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on Non-Egg Nonsense, guys. We love you. And we will see everyone else next week. All right, everyone, stay happy, stay healthy, no COVID.